Everyone expected sanctions to cripple Russia. Its currency should have crashed. Its economy should have collapsed. For years, the headlines have told a story of a nation in isolation and decline. And yet, that is not quite what happened. Here we are in early 2026, and the Russian ruble has shown shocking strength. After shrugging off predictions of its demise, it even hit a multi-year high in late January and early February, before settling slightly. This financial resilience seems to defy logic, creating a massive contradiction that has experts asking one question: how is this possible? The answer is way more complex than just a simple wartime boom. In fact, after a state-funded growth spurt in 2023 and 2024, Russia's economy has slowed to a crawl, with forecasts for 2026 hovering around just 1%. So what we are witnessing is not some traditional economic miracle. It is something else entirely. It is the creation of a financial fortress. This apparent strength is the result of a calculated two-pronged strategy designed for one purpose: economic survival against unprecedented pressure. The first pillar is a monumental bet on the country's vast, untapped northern fuel reserves, mega projects designed to completely rewire global energy flows. The second is a set of strict, almost draconian financial rules built to insulate its currency and economy from the outside world. But this strategy is a high-wire act. It is a story of ambition, isolation, and immense risk. Let us break down how these two pillars, the northern fuel ventures and the fortress-like financial controls, are fueling Russia's surprising financial story, and why this fortress may have a foundation of sand. To understand Russia's economic strategy, you have to look north, to the vast frozen expanse of the Arctic and Siberia. This is where Russia is placing its biggest, most audacious long-term bet, trying to build a new economic future on three colossal energy projects. The first and largest is Vostok Oil. This is not just another oil field. It is one of the largest petroleum projects in the world, with reserves estimated at a staggering 6.5 billion tons of premium, low-sulfur crude. The scale is almost hard to wrap your head around. The plan involves thousands of wells and a 770-kilometer pipeline to a new Arctic port, Sever Bay. It is a multi-decade, $100 billion undertaking designed to do one thing: anchor Russia's energy exports firmly to Asia for the rest of the century. By shipping oil from the Arctic via the Northern Sea route, Russia wants to create a direct, high-volume line to hungry markets like India and China, completely bypassing traditional European routes and the reach of certain sanctions. Rosneft, the state-owned operator, has already signed a massive 10-year deal with India's Reliance refinery, valued at around $13 billion a year at current prices. But this grand vision is slamming into a harsh reality. The project, once slated to start in 2024, has been delayed. U.S. sanctions are specifically targeting its construction and logistics. A critical shortage of specialized ice-capable oil tankers, which Russia cannot build or buy from abroad because of sanctions, has stalled progress. While Rosneft officially says it is aiming for a 2026 commissioning, the immense hurdles make this timeline incredibly optimistic. The project is moving forward, but far slower and at a much higher cost than anyone imagined. The second part of this northern pivot is natural gas, specifically the Arctic LNG-2 project. Located on the Gaidan Peninsula, this massive liquefied natural gas facility was designed to have 3 production lines with a total capacity of nearly 20 million tons per year. Like Vostok Oil, its goal is to redirect Russia's gas exports eastward and secure a steady flow of revenue from Asia. Novatek, the operator, has confidently stated it aims to complete all 3 lines by 2026. However, Arctic LNG-2 is a perfect case study in how sanctions are hitting their mark. The first production line started up in late 2023, but it has yet to export any significant LNG. It is running at an estimated 30% of its potential. The reason? A logistical nightmare. Sanctions have blocked access to crucial technology, like specialized Baker Hughes turbines, and have stopped Novatek from getting the fleet of ice-class LNG carriers it needs. The project now relies on a small shadow fleet of older, non-sanctioned tankers to move its product. This has created a convoluted and inefficient shipping scheme, where gas is first taken to a floating storage facility near Murmansk before being transferred to conventional tankers for the long journey to Asia. The recent sinking of one of these shadow fleet vessels in the Mediterranean has thrown this fragile network into chaos, forcing other tankers to reroute and adding weeks to their journeys. Arctic LNG-2 is operational, but it is crippled, a shadow of what it was meant to be. Finally, there is the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline. For years, this has been Moscow's holy grail. A second massive pipeline capable of sending 50 billion cubic meters of gas to China annually. This would not just replace a huge chunk of the lost European market. It would cement a powerful energy alliance with Beijing. Yet, as of early 2026, this remains a pipe dream. While a preliminary memorandum has been signed, a final binding contract on crucial details like price and timeline is still missing. China, knowing exactly how desperate Russia is for a new market, is in a powerful negotiating position and has been playing hardball for years. Beijing has only committed to advancing early work on the project in its latest 5-year plan, a clear signal that it is in no rush. Russia needs this pipeline far more than China does, and Beijing knows it. These northern ventures are Russia's grand strategy for long-term economic relevance. They are designed to be the engines of a new Asia-focused export economy. But sanctions, tech bottlenecks, and a reliance on a single powerful customer have turned this ambitious vision into a slow, costly, and uncertain gamble. While the northern fuel projects are Russia's long-term bet, its short-term financial survival has been engineered through a different, more immediate set of tools. A fortress of strict financial and monetary controls. This is the secret to the ruble's surprising strength. The first layer of this fortress is a radical de-dollarization and a pivot to national currencies. Russia systematically dismantled its reliance on the US dollar, especially with its key economic partner, China. Today, over 90% of trade between them is settled in rubles and yuan. This move insulates a massive portion of its trade from Western sanctions, financial institutions, and currency pressures. It creates a parallel financial ecosystem where the dollar simply is not needed. The second and more forceful layer is a wall of capital controls. In the chaotic days after the 2022 invasion, Russia's central bank acted decisively to stop a catastrophic run on the ruble. It slapped strict limits on how much foreign currency people and companies could move abroad. Most importantly, it forced exporters to convert a huge portion of their foreign currency revenues back into rubles. These rules create a constant artificial demand for the Russian currency, propping up its value no matter what the market thinks. The final layer of the fortress is aggressive monetary policy. To fight soaring inflation, the Bank of Russia hiked its key interest rate to a peak of 20%, before gradually lowering it to around 15.5% by early 2026. This tight policy made holding rubles more attractive than spending them, which helped slow inflation and support the currency's value. Together, these measures have been remarkably effective. After initially plummeting to 150 per dollar, the ruble rebounded. By late February 2026, it had strengthened to around 75 per dollar, hitting a near 3-year high before weakening slightly to about 78 by early March. This was not because of a booming economy. It was the direct result of state intervention. The central bank built a walled garden for the ruble, shielding it from the outside world. But this stability comes at a high price. The strong ruble hurts Russian exporters, making their goods more expensive abroad and cutting into state budget revenues. High interest rates strangle credit for businesses and consumers, squeezing the non-defense parts of the economy. It is a strategy that achieves stability by sacrificing growth. So Russia's financial story is not a story of resurgence in the traditional sense. It is not about a thriving, dynamic economy. It is the story of a garrison state economy being constructed in real time. The Kremlin has successfully built a financial fortress using its vast energy reserves as the foundation and strict capital controls as the walls. This strategy allowed Russia to withstand the initial shock of sanctions and keep funding its war. But the cracks are showing. The economy's growth has slowed to a crawl, projected at less than 1% for this year, far below its peers. The grand northern energy projects are proving slower and more difficult than imagined, plagued by sanctions and logistical headaches. And the very financial controls that create stability are also causing stagnation and creating major budget shortfalls. The Russian economy is not collapsing, but it is not thriving either. It is being transformed into something more rigid, more isolated, and more dependent on the state. It is an economy on a permanent war footing, burning through its long-term potential to solve its short-term problems. By leveraging its northern fuel and rewriting its financial playbook, Russia is not just surviving. It is trying to build a new economic model, one that is resilient to Western pressure. The question is no longer if sanctions will work in the way many expected. The real question is whether this new model of a resource-fueled fortress is sustainable, or if it is merely delaying an inevitable reckoning. If you want more deep dives into the economic forces shaping our world, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. History rhymes. Power rebrands. Stay inquisitive.